Hello YouTube, I'm back again. Gamers Roundtable, the operative here, and once again I'm going to do another Gamers Roundtable that is on the N64. I don't know if I talked about the 64 before. I think this is my first 64. I might have glanced over a few times as far as the games of the 64. As far as previous, I played on other systems, the first iteration of those games. Now, a lot of people tend to talk about Mario. Now, I think I went on my little rant about Mario. I don't have a thing against Mario, but the one thing about the 64 is my fond memory of the 64 was the wrestling games on this thing. Now, one thing I noticed that a lot of people talk about this game, or better yet, I'm sorry, but the console itself is the controller. The controller was a very weird controller at the time, and based on what I've understanding about how these controllers are made in Japan, as far as Miyamoto and how he specifically, I guess, asked how these controllers are to be made to in designing the games that he made, that it's not so much that these games, the controller are really made with Western games in mind, but they're normally made for specific games in which he envisioned how he's want the character of his games to control. But I mean, it worked just fine for the wrestling game that we played with, so I didn't have a problem with it. I mean, eventually once you get your moves down pat or you set your moves to your controller, then it's pretty much, you know, you're off and running to the races as far as wrestling goes. Now, as far as my memory of the 64, it was back in September of 1996 because I remember pre-ordering, and it was, I believe it was one of the first systems I ever remember walking into Babbage's. That was the game called. I used to go to this game store in a mall called Fairlane that's in Dearborn in Michigan here, and I went in and I remember there was a line going around, wrapping around the store itself, and I couldn't believe it because that was the first time I ever encountered a line for a system. Because when I bought my Genesis, I just went straight into KB Toys and bought the system, and then walked out. You know, no big standing in line, no chatting with other gamers about the system and that. But I remember standing in line, talking to a few people here and there about the system and buying it because it came with Mario 64, I believe the system it was. But later on, we didn't get wrestling till maybe a year or so later. But it's one thing about this. Me and my cousin, which I'm get a little shout out to Detroit Dion, that is, about this video that me and him used to play this game morning, noon, and night. You know, when we had days off of work, we would constantly be rebuilding our characters, testing out new moves to make the most ultimate wrestler that we possibly get, and it was tested on against each other to see who could build the ultimate wrestler. And that's the fun thing about wrestling. I mean, I'm not a fighting game person myself, but there's something about wrestling, being a wrestling fan. On top of that, I just had a lot of fun playing wrestling all the time. It's just one of those things where you can, once you get into it and you just set up your own crazy imaginative storylines, your tag team partners, and then ultimately fighting for that ultimate trophy, which is the belt, to show that you're the king of the federation, was the one thing that we all was trying to strive for in our imaginary little wrestling league. You know, not that we really built one, but it was cool just to imagine in your head, just to say to yourself that, you know, I'm top dog, and if you want to be the man, like Ric Flair used to say, you got to beat the man, and if you were the man, then you were the man to beat. But I had a lot of fun playing 64. I mean, I had a lot of fun playing Mario 64. I'm not going to kid you. I stayed up late one night, quote unquote. You know, I was supposed to be out on a date, but I stayed home to play an N64 game and to try to finish it because I was close to the end. And she was upset, but hey, I show you how dedicated I am to gaming. You know, I'm not, that I just ignore women because I wouldn't, find a wife if I wasn't, totally just an introvert and never went out. But I really like playing games a lot, and I really enjoy playing games on the 64. Maybe there'll be other videos where I can talk about other games on the 64 I play right now, but most of all, I just want to start off with wrestling most of all. And as you can see running in the background here, this is No Mercy. But the first game I was exposed to, though, was NWO Revenge, I believe was the first one. And I remember seeing that game and was totally mind blown when I saw it. I know some people say that, that the 64 is wrestling games are high, it held to too much high of esteem that, the company that made them wasn't all that great. I disagree. I mean, it is one of my fondest memories. This is just as fond as the memories people have playing pro wrestling on the regular Nintendo. I mean, I have fond memories of that as well. and it was a lot of fun to do that. And then, it's just one of those things where, you know, everybody has different games, record music, like I said before, that just stands out to you more than another one. And I just never really, no matter how good these so-called wrestling games get on the newer systems, they still don't give me that nostalgia, that good feeling I used to get playing games on the 64. Just sitting back and playing with your friends and having an all-out brawl, on the TV, and just all sitting around with one controller in your hand and just going at it just to see who had to build the best controller. I mean, not the best controller, but the best wrestler. So before I sign off, I just want to say thanks for all the views, and I want to give myself a big Yahoo. I got 2 subscribers, and that might seem small, but I guess we all got to start somewhere. So for my 2 subscribers, thanks a lot for you to subscribing, and those who left really nice comments, I really appreciate those. They're really words of encouragement because I'm starting off, from bare scratch. I'm trying to get this thing started, trying to put my views out there in the world for everybody else to share and let the community know that we're all one big community. We're all there's a love for video games all around, all ages, man. I remember, like I said, these young kids nowadays have all these fantastic graphics, but they'll never remember how it just started. Because I feel like my generation is the one that started this. We're the ones that put in, just the fandom, the love, everything in between in there to make sure that the video game industry is today. I mean, look, we having, E3 starts soon, and everybody gonna, if you're a gamer, you watch that just as much as a sports fan watches the NBA draft and NFL draft. But one more thing, I gotta sign off. I got a little shout out for a special someone who happens to gave a little shout out for the mascot of Roundtable, and he will make races with his appearance. Hopefully, he will. Elliot, come here, Elliot, come here. He's being a little stubborn now. He's usually a little bit more on cue. Come on, Elliot, come on. See, he does being a little camera shy. Like, give me 1 second, bring him on. Got to go get him in style, So say hi to the people, Elliot. Let them know that you want to say thank you, and thank you for the nice Elliot Rules little comment down there. He's appreciated. And you see already, he's going to his head. He didn't even want to get on camera at first. Now you got to beg him to get on camera. Now see, look at him. See, now I told you this. My dog is a total camera hog, and he loves being on camera. But I appreciate the comment that you made about my dog, and thanks a lot. Hope to see you soon, and my next system will be up as soon as I get the video up. Thanks for watching. Take care.